Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Antiheroes Anonymous, or welcome for the first time if it's your first time joining us. I'm Ethan, and I'm the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons show!
They can't see us, so we have to be vocal.
Yeah, I guess so. I wasn't sure what you were doing.
All
It was
over
great.
that.
Well, you didn't. We've never coordinated like a group howl before like that. So
Maybe we should.
Not that you just jump on, you know.
It's funnier this way.
Sorry, please continue.
Anyways, Nick, do you want to start off the player introductions, and then I'll do announcements and a recap, and we'll get into it?
Sure. Hi, I'm Nick. I play Sir Thaddeus Hammerlock, the Human Vengeance Paladin.
Hi, I'm Kay, and I don't know if I'm muted or not, but I play Harmony, who is a deep wild magic sorcerer.
A true chaotic alignment there. Like, just start speaking before she knows if she's unmuted or not.
Yeah. I don't care anymore. Hi, I'm Zach, and I play Xant, who is a human fighter ranger.
And I'm Melissa, and I play Mara, who is a human pirate rogue.
Right.
Ready to party.
Ready to party.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
But you remember, the party is not until the eve of tomorrow, so you have some time before then. As you may have noticed, we are currently practicing some good social distancing by playing remotely due to the current world situation, so please bear with the unusual layout and lack of cameras on us as we play. Sorry, skipped over one. We premiere our episodes on YouTube every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, so that's where and when you can find us. Throughout the show, we use a variety of custom items, as well as a custom wild magic table, so be aware of that as you're watching. Our music comes from BattleBards, TabletopAudio, and Incompetech. And our character portraits, which you'll see on the screen, I think on the right-hand side, were drawn by an artist who goes by the name of, or whose name is Carrie Peach, goes by @CarrieDraws on Twitter. You can check the video description for links and information about everything I just mentioned and more. And then, other than that, you can follow us on Twitter @AntiheroesAnon for more good content. For example, when we this week posted a little bonus thingamabob, not really an episode, but kind of a side story game that we played, we posted about that on Twitter to announce that it was up. So that's where you could find that kind of information. Other than that, we just hope you enjoy the show. Share with your friends, come back and watch more, etc. So, to recap, the Antiheroes are going after a night hag named Mother Midnight in her lair on Malbolg, the 6th layer of the 9 Hells. To that end, they've traveled through the 1st layer and have finally reached the 5th layer of the 9 Hells, a plane called Stygia, where they have 2 tasks that they need to complete. The first is to annul the Ice Devil Bazith's hold over the crew of the Sea Devil's Curse, which includes Mara's grandfather, and thereby save him from a fate worse than death, as his soul is, pulled into the 9 Hells and transformed into a devil in the long term. The second task is to recover the long-lost shard of a pit fiend's heart to make good on a promise to their friend Sial. On their way to Tantlin, the sort of capital of Stygia, they found it under attack by a massive demon known as the Prince of Demons. They leapt into battle with this ferocious monster and ended up defeating him, but not quite before Xant actually fell in battle, making him the 3rd party member of 4 to have died before. Having defeated him, some messengers in the service of the Lord of the Sixth, the Princess of Hell, named Glacia, arrived before them and announced that they were being invited to a party held in their honor, and the title conferred to the group was the Heroes of Hell. So, with that in mind, we settle into today's scene. The group of you are kind of standing on the massive ice floe that contains the city of Tantlin, standing outside its now ruined ice walls, which tower ordinarily tens, 20, 30 feet in the air. Incredibly tall walls. But most of them have been broken down in places due to the demon's siege. And you're just kind of grouped together as devils are routing the remaining demons and scurrying about trying to frantically recover from the siege of Tantlin. So, in this moment of respite, what would the group of you like to do? I'll turn it over to you now. Was that glitch?
That was Bianca, I think.
Yeah, go.
Okay. Well, apparently that's what we want to do.
Yeah,
So I cast Speak with Animals so I can listen to the calls of Bianco. No, I don't know.
If you cast Speak with Animals, I don't know if you were serious about that.
I can. I don't know if I should or not. I mean,
Bianco is currently kind of like extra attentive to you, so like his eyes seem to be kind of like focused on you almost constantly. Like he's watching you very carefully.
yeah, I can cast Speak with Animals and ask him what's on his mind.
Okay. He looks up at you with those sort of green eyes, those bright green eyes that he has, and he says, "You didn't just go down earlier. It was worse than that, wasn't it?"
It was. This was the first time.
You must be more careful going forward.
I always try and exercise caution.
And he kind of brushes up against you in a sort of like uncharacteristic display of affection, and just kind of looks back up at you and says, "I've actually grown rather fond of you, believe it or not.
Likewise.
Would not. Well,
Aw.
I wouldn't be very happy if something were to happen to you."
I'll try not to make the same mistake again, Bianco.
And he kind of nods and says, "And I too will be more careful to defend you if I can.
I appreciate that.
You don't have 9 lives like I do."
You're the best companion I could ask for.
And kind of a low purr, like involuntary purr, sounds in the back of the throat.
I pet him. And otherwise I'll turn to the group and say, I don't know about you guys, but I want to sleep. I don't feel so good.
Do we know?
Is this still? Sorry, is this still directly after the fight?
Yeah, pretty much directly after the fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
How long has it been since we woke up today?
I mean, not very long, because you woke up when you were, I think, a couple hours out of Stygia, or out of Tantlin. So it's not quite bedtime yet. You probably have a couple hours, I mean, several hours left of the day before you physically will be ready to sleep.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's bedtime yet, but we can at least take a rest. Maybe we can swing by that tavern.
Sounds good.
Tavern, I'm all in.
I could certainly use a drink for that.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
Yep, I agree.
Not quite as rough as a certain archdevil that tried to kill us, but pretty rough.
Bianco kind of turns to Zant and says, "But no one died when facing the Archdevil."
That's a good point, Bianco.
I have so many comments.
Someone did.
Yeah.
Yeah, to you it's just kind of like,
Well.
Oh, okay. I'll relay Bianco's message.
Well, actually, all of us were very close to dying, and the only reason none of us died were because Ariel decided not to chase us.
Well, I think they decided not to chase us because we were fending them off at that last stand, though, right?
Still,
Potentially.
why don't you have a conversation with Thaddeus about his experience
It was
That's a
later?
good point.
It was
Did
close.
Thaddeus share the deal he made with the whole group or just Harmony?
Just Harmony.
Just Harmony.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So I think I kind of like raise an eyebrow to Thaddeus and be like, I mean, I was there. I kind of saw everything, but
You saw everything there was to see.
okay.
Lulu at this point
well,
has
I won't pry you if
regressed
there's-
to her little golden elephant form and is zooming around the group of you in rapid circles, and she's basically just saying over and over again, "Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go! Come on, guys, it's time! We've got exploring to do."
Oh gosh.
Oh, jeez. All right, let's get on with it then.
Yeah. So we're gonna ask one of the nearby devils for directions to the what is it? The frozen.
The frozen tap.
Yeah, the frozen tap.
You start to move. You kind of begin making your way through the rubble of the walls and into the city itself. And you get sort of your first glance of what lies beyond the walls. And you find yourselves in... it actually looks sort of, in a lot of ways, very similar to Sigil. It's definitely an extraplanar hotspot. Like you can see, there are buildings that are shops, there are buildings that are offices, there are homes, but the more striking scene, other than this weird normalcy within the Nine Hells that you haven't really seen before, is that you see the inhabitants of this now very much ruined inner city. And at least you can see that the city seems to be divided into sections. Like in the distance, you could see another tall wall rising up that doesn't look damaged. But in between that wall and the outside wall, you mostly seem to see mortal creatures milling about, though they are interspersed with devils who are already running about trying to repair the walls and things like that. Oftentimes using enslaved frost giants and things like that to sort of work on repairing the walls or rush about whatever tasks they're on. But the creatures who are trying to pick up their daily lives after that horrific demonic siege seem to be very much mortal creatures, and a large percentage of them tieflings.
Interesting. Do they all have like collars or something, or is there some noticeable enslavement type of thing, or is it just they're just okay? Huh. Interesting.
I wonder if they're related to you, Harmony. Some offshoot of an old family line.
That is extremely racist.
You recognize any family characteristics? Milling about?
I don't know.
That one has a
Discord turned out to be somehow related to you.
that one has a tail, and
Okay, that was an
that one has a tail. That
Oh
one has
my
horns.
My family is from Nessus. At least that's what I've been told. So, unless these tieflings are also from Nessus, I don't know. We're not all related to each other, you know.
I actually didn't.
Radiance and I aren't related. You've met Radiance.
You're all
We're from the same tribe, but we're not family.
Thaddeus is like, wait, she wasn't your sister?
What's that, Nick?
What?
Well, you were breaking up. What did you say?
Oh, I said I thought you're all from the same clan.
Yeah, but we're not family. She's not my sister.
Oh. You must have a different definition of clan than I do.
Well, we're a tribe, not a clan.
Oh.
Technically.
I see.
Actually, I don't think you have a word in common for what we call it, but...
I like how we took one step and stopped again.
No,
I assume this is happening while we're walking.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You never heard of talking while walking?
My mind we like take a step like, hey, look at that.
No.
The group of you step into the city and do start walking a little ways as you're having this conversation. But it's around the time that you sort of realize you have no idea where you're going that you hear a voice from like an alleyway, and you turn and you see in between two very much now like damaged and burned out buildings, which were constructed of entirely of ice, but have now like melted and thawed. You see a very tall, like skinny and kind of like gaunt creature. It almost looks like what would happen to a pit fiend. You've seen several pit fiends at this point. If one of them did not like work out every day and all of that, and just kind of let itself waste away. It has very like a sallow face, and it's got this like gray, almost like withered looking skin, and its horns on the top of its head look very brittle. But probably the more striking feature is it wears this dark cloak over its wings that gives its back kind of like this high hunched appearance. Hold on.
I was wondering.
My bird.
He's like, pay attention to me.
Bird is the word.
And this creature basically is standing in the alley, and as you pass by, it goes, "Ahem. Excuse me."
Is it infernal or in common or?
It speaks in common, but Harmony, you would recognize its common has a heavy infernal accent to it.
Okay. Okay.
And it kind of strides confidently forward, and as it gets close to you, it towers above you. And Thaddeus, you realize something as it approaches. No one else would probably pick up on this, but this creature is emitting some kind of a magic.
Mm-hmm.
And that magic is specifically designed to instill fear. But because of your bond with your goddess and the abilities that you have, that magical fear effect is being suppressed. And as it walks forward, you catch just the slightest glance of confusion as the group of you don't recoil from its presence.
Tone it down a bit, Daddy says.
Excuse me? Tone what's down a bit?
Your thing.
And he kind of raises an eyebrow at you. Oh, I see. I understand. And you feel that sort of magical presence recede a little bit, and you can hear that sort of begrudging sound in his voice, like he didn't want to have to do that, but he is because you've asked him to. And as he approaches, he just says, "Am I correct in understanding that you are the heroes who saved the city but an hour ago from the Prince of Demons himself?"
I put my hands on my hips and kind of puff my chest out, make myself look a little bit taller.
And stand a full 4 feet high with that.
Yeah, well, I try. I'm not quite reaching 4 feet, but I'm trying.
Yeah. Also
Yeah,
plus you 7 times.
Mara does a mock
Oh,
curtsy.
thanks.
Thaddeus doesn't do anything, he just stares.
I think I'll just say who's asking.
"Oh, excuse me. How rude of me. My name is Fergus." And he extends a hand to you, and it's this withered, old, decrepit-looking hand, and his fingernails are an inch long, but it looks like they're about to snap off. Whereas other pit fiends have these wicked-looking, powerful claws. His look very brittle.
Huh? Just like my hands, and I guess I'll reach out and grab it.
And one of the fingernails breaks off and falls to the ground. How rude of me to not introduce myself at first. I am the Minister of Mortal Relations on the Dark Age within the Nine Hells.
On the dark
Well,
what?
we were.
The Dark Gate. And maybe you've heard of us.
8. Looks to the group.
Harmony, you could roll a history check if you'd like.
Is this something our research would have told us about, maybe?
If anything, Harmony will know, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
History's not good. Oh, I'm unmuted. Okay. Sorry, my computer's really, really slowing down. So I click unmute and it takes like 2 minutes.
Oof.
All right. Natural 20!
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
So total 22.
So whether by stories passed down in your tribe or something you heard from Moloch, you would know of the Dark Eight. They're a group of pit fiend generals said to be immortal that serve Asmodeus directly
Oh, shit.
and basically are responsible for ensuring that the efforts within the Blood War continue and are basically ensuring that the infernal side of the Blood War does not fail. And he said his position within the Eight is the
Mortal relations.
Minister of Mortal Relations.
Minister of Mortal Relations. Yep.
So where do they sit in the hierarchy with archdevils and stuff? Like, where's that at? How's that make sense?
Harmony would know with that natural 20 that they kind of sit sidestepped. Like
Okay.
Asmodeus is here, he's up at the
Uh-huh.
top,
Yeah.
and then archdevils are below him, and
Uh-huh.
the Dark Eight are kind of on that same level of archdevils. With
okay.
a natural 20, Harmony would know actually a little bit of a secret. This is probably something Moloch would have told you, not something you would have heard passed down in your tribe. But the Dark Eight are sort of around as like a safety to Asmodeus against the other archdevils. The other archdevils have trouble moving against him because the Dark Eight are aware of everything in the Nine Hells. You know, they just have cultivated this sort of like omnipresence.
So
Yes,
they're kind
that's
of
what
like,
you know.
they're like a dotted line on the org chart.
Exactly.
I was just thinking the same thing. That's why I sort of internalized it too. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and they're said to be immortal. It's said that like since their founding, none of them have ever died. They're legendary within the Nine Hells.
Okay, and this guy's like really old.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, he certainly seems like withered and frail,
So
Dark 8, like the number 8.
like the number 8. Mhm.
Okay. I was hearing Dark Gate like 1,000 times.
oh,
Dark
so does
8. Okay.
does Harmony think we should converse with this devil, this pit fiend?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Well, we're on our way to the Frozen Tap. Would you like to accompany us there? I'm
Buy us a drink and we'll listen to
thirsty.
you.
Well,
Yeah, buy us around and we'll listen to whatever you have to say.
the drinks you mortals consume do not do much for me, but I will gladly guide you on your path.
Awesome, let's go.
We'll take it.
And he kind of like puts an arm at his side as if expecting one of you to like take his arm as he takes the lead.
I'll take it. Shit.
I shall
Yeah, you
not
do.
harmony.
I'm already there, man. I'm already there.
With the height difference, you can't quite link your arm in his.
I'm just like a little kid holding her dad's hand, like just holding onto the pinky or something.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
I mean, he kind of like reaches down and like puts his hand on your back and sort of begins to guide you.
We're on message, Harmony. Don't tug too hard, it might fall off. Ew!
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah.
Oh, when they send that message, do they get that like telepathic? ping?
Yes, good question. That you would, as a group, sense a slightly different presence, but still something there.
Same type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Harmony, as you sort of walk forward with this pit fiend, and the rest of the group begins to sort of trail behind, he keeps speaking, and he says, "I have come to offer my deepest and sincerest thanks for your efforts. You have truly been an asset to our battle against the demons this day."
All in a day's work.
To be truthful, I do not think that we may have been able to fend off the demons had you not arrived when you did. Or if we did, it would certainly have cost us a great more than it did.
How important
some
is
of
the
us
city? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
No, Mara, go ahead, Mara.
I was just going to say something flippant. Like some of us are more assets than
Hang on.
others.
Why isn't it different than anything else you say, though?
Wow.
So, in other words, it isn't important.
No, it's equally important is what I'm trying to say.
Go ahead, your turn.
Okay, I was going to ask how important is the city to you?
The city of Tantlin is of paramount importance to the efforts of the Archdevil's machinations within the Nine Hells. Perhaps you know of its main exports, imports. Forgive me, I cannot think of the word. It deals mostly in the paperwork. If there is a contract, a deal signed anywhere that involves Infernal, well, then that paperwork passes through the city.
I see.
Were the demons to get their hands upon it, they could come into some, well, information they should not be having.
Mhm.
Was that the target of their raid, or were they
Interesting.
just trying to burn the city down?
Oh, who can say the objectives of the demons? They are chaos. They are the antithesis of what we here within the hells strive to achieve.
So, if we were looking for a contract,
Actually, Thaddeus, since you asked that question, if you wanted to roll an insight check with advantage,
Sure.
You could on that.
Sure. Also a natural 20 with that advantage.
Oh,
So I got a 22.
Yeah, he knows something about the background for what was happening here that he does not offer to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that much is obvious to you.
Yeah.
With the discerning power of the sword augmenting your senses.
Mm-hmm. I think I'll just say, if you didn't want to tell me, you can just tell me. It's none of my business. But don't lie to me.
He turns to you and kind of chuckles a little bit. Most mortals do not take being excluded from secrets with that sort of magnanimous attitude. You will forgive me, Sir Thaddeus Hammerlock. And I don't think you've introduced yourself to him, but he seems to know your name.
Mm-hmm.
He guides you sort of as... oh, go on.
Oh, that is a surprise. He knows he's a big deal.
Yeah.
snug as a bug in a rug.
Oh my god.
Got an attitude tonight, all of us.
I know.
He sort of guides you through the streets, and you see more and more of the city in ruins, and you can see that most of the damage was done to sort of mortal-owned shops, mortal-owned businesses, houses, and it looks like most of the casualties that you see within this city were tieflings. Though you do see devil bodies here and there.
I have a question.
Yep.
What, as we're sort of walking through the town, how do they react to our group passing through, and with this general, I guess?
If anything, it seems like he draws some attention. I don't think a lot of the people in here would know what you did specifically, and it's sort of a planar trading city in a lot of respects. At least the outer layer of it is. So they're kind of used to they're used to seeing like weird groups of from different places. And in fact, as you're walking through, you would see other sort of like adventurer-esque groups. None of them look like they're nearly as powerful as you, and that probably they're recovering from wounds and things like that, sustained as they were defending the inside of the city from the lesser demons. But
follow-up question to that.
Sure.
So, like, does all of Thaddeus's holy regalia get him the same kind of looks that like Harmony would in a normal human city on Alandal?
That's probably true.
Role reversal.
Maybe not so much from the tieflings. If anything, they look at you and then sort of avert their gaze. But the devils that you pass by might give you like a dirty look here and there or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
You'd be dead without me, and you'd be dead without me.
Yes, that's exactly what people love about, holy people, is when they get up on their high horse.
It's perfect. This is great.
But yeah, he sort of guides you through the streets, and eventually you come to what you can clearly tell is a bar. You can't tell if it's the one you're looking for, because if there was signage on the front, it's been completely destroyed, because the front half of the building appears to have been destroyed in like a fireball or an explosion or something like that. It's just missing. So you can see that there's a tap room inside, but it's like completely open to the outside. And on the second floor and the third floor, there seem to be rooms, but they're exposed to the elements of the city, essentially.
Is this just one of those things where when you reach for the doorknob that's not there, you just pretend there's one anyways and swing it open?
Furcus, when you approach the building, just sort of gives a sweeping gesture and says, "The frozen tap, my friends. I suppose this is where I bid you adieu."
Oh, you're not gonna sit with us for a little bit?
No, I merely sought to introduce myself. As the Minister of Mortal Affairs, it would not do for me to remain anonymous while individuals of such power as yourselves were wandering about in this domain.
Are you gonna
be at the party tomorrow?
That was the other objective. I hoped to seek confirmation that you would be in attendance. Her Lady Glacia of the Sixth would be, I'm sure, most appreciative. She does love her parties.
Yeah, I don't see why not, right, guys?
We'll be there.
Well, then I hope to share that drink with you then, eh? I will have something more infernal in nature, and I'm sure I can procure something more to your tastes for you.
Be much appreciated, buddy.
Excellent. Well, then I take my leave here. And he sort of gives a low bow and turns to walk away. But before he does, he looks back to the group of you one last time. And I think probably in particular he would look at Thaddeus and he would say, "Be careful not to be too confident in this city. The realm of Stygia is not ruled by a single lord." And he kind of glances down at like the space on your arm where the devils can see like the passport runes. Mm-hmm. And he just says, "With certain parties, I would choose your words with care." And then he turns and walks away.
Interesting. We are always careful with our words, aren't we? Come on, let's go get wasted.
I would say devil may care with the words.
Oh, boy.
Well, a little pre-party is in order, don't you think?
Let's do what we came here to do. Drink.
So you kind of walk into the open-faced tavern, and you can see actually there are a few patrons in here. It looks like either those who were just like sort of casual, like minorly injured, or somehow managed to escape injury altogether, but are trying to like make themselves scarce. Have kind of like ducked in here and are sitting at tables. Nursing, glasses of something or other. But as with the rest of the city, this bar seems to be almost made entirely of ice. However, the ice has been colored to make it look as close as it can to like a wood floor tavern with wooden stools and things like that.
That's cool.
And sort of lining the back wall where the bar is, there's different ice tanks of alcohols, and because the ice is so clear, you can see through at each of the individual alcohols, and it kind of has a very cool sort of upscale effect to it, despite the fact that it is missing a front. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, people are trying to make themselves scarce in a place that doesn't have a wall in the front of it. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Is there still a bartender here?
Yeah. You see behind the bar, there is a tiefling woman. She has very pale blue skin, and she looks. She looks She looks like she's been through some stuff. Like she doesn't look frail. She looks pretty tough, actually. She has a few, calluses on her hands and stuff. But she's sitting behind the bar and talking to some other patrons. But they sort of get their drinks and walk away as you approach. And she looks at the group of you and sort of sizes you up and says, "New in town?"
What?
Yeah, I want to know what,
Recently introduced.
what's on the happy hour menu.
There's no happy hour menu here. It's not a happy hour.
It's the happiest hour you can think of. We just got rid of the big demon prince out there.
We as in the group of you?
Yes.
Well, now that's a pretty
I
tall
can't think of
claim.
anything happier than that.
She kind of begins pulling out glasses and setting them on the bar and says, "Well, that is happy in a sense, I suppose. It would have been happier if you arrived and dealt with the thing before the front of my establishment was blown off." She just kind of looks around.
If it helps, this establishment is the entire reason we intervened. We were hoping to save more of it.
Well, no, that is something. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm feeling generous. I don't have too many other customers right now. First one's on the house. What can I get for you?
What do you have?
What's your best seller?
She kind of looks down the line of the various things there, and she points to the one at the far left end, and it's kind of an amber liquid, and she just says, "Stygian ale. Believe it or not, brewed with the waters of the river Styx. Don't worry, it loses its potency after a few days, and I can assure you this is more than a few days old. But it'll still get the job done in other respects."
Put you in stupor in a different way.
Exactly.
I see. Stupor like the Styx.
Are you okay? Are you feeling all right, Sam?
No, I'm feeling terrible,
You
actually.
look like you yeah.
Yeah,
You're like a skeleton
you
ant.
all look like you've been through
loopy.
something, but I guess that makes sense.
Zant,
Well,
Yeah.
let's
why don't
wait
you take
on
the-
in.
Why don't you take the first drink, Zant?
Sure. Why not?
We'll get a round of the ale.
Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd like a what?
May I have a rosé, please?
She raises an eyebrow at you and says, "Look, I can
Amazing.
pour a red wine and a white wine together. That's what you want."
Fair enough.
So for most of you, she goes to that tap at the far end, and it is literally a frozen tap. Like the tap itself is made from ice.
That's
She
sweet.
pours the things out, puts them on the bar. For Thaddeus, she literally like uncorks 2 wine bottles of different colors, pours them together, like making eye contact the whole time, and then just like puts them away and passes you the glass.
All right, Thaddeus swirls it around a little bit and sips from it.
Probably not great.
I'll hold up my cup to
Yep,
the others.
same. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers! We made
Yeah.
it this far. Let's make it all the way.
Still alive, barely.
Still alive.
Some more than others. Pling.
Still kicking.
The Stygian ale has a sort of, I mean, for lack of a better word, swampy taste to it, but that quickly goes
Lovely.
away because it is quite strong, and the alcohol sort of overpowers it. And once you've had a couple sips, it's not bad.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah.
At
Gotta
least it
acquire
doesn't
a
taste like
taste.
ash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's true.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Sort of leans across the bar and examines the group of you and says, "You said that my bar was the whole reason you came to Tantlin?"
Did we get her name?
No, not yet.
It was highly recommended to us by a fellow named what is that dude's name?
Zutas?
Zutaz.
Zutaz. She kind of chuckles when you say that and says, yep, Zutaz is a regular. What a weirdo.
Y'all say.
Yeah.
He's got this thing. He just really is interested in the way that normal people live their lives. I mean, it's like it's a foreign concept to him. I mean, he just likes to come here and hang out with, I don't know, non-devils. It's weird.
Yeah, he boarded our ship on the way in, and he just looked like he needed some conversation. That's all he
That's
wanted.
why we were late, by the way.
That's Zutaz. Always
Yeah, for your
touching a delay where he shouldn't be.
The front of your store would have been saved if not for him.
Drink your ale, Sam.
He'd have been demoted a long time ago if it weren't for the amount of information that guy contains in his fat little head. Let me tell you that. So,
something.
you're not from around here. You came here specifically to drink at my humble establishment. I understand that there are a few places where you can get good tasting food and drink within the Hells, and this is one of them, but I don't imagine that's enough to fight off a demon lord, so I think I'm owed a story.
I look at Thaddeus pointedly.
This is your quest.
You're the talker here. I'm gonna drink my beer.
I look at the bottom of my tankard pointedly.
Yeah.
It's like you started this conversation, Thaddeus. You better finish it.
All right. Thaddeus sips a little bit more of his fake rosé.
Hey, Zach, go a little easy. You've had a major blood loss there.
So the reason he told us to come here was because he said you would know something about a pit fiend's heart.
She leans back against the back counter and surveys the group of you and says, "Yeah, I know a thing or two. Actually, now that I get a look at you," she kind of passes her eyes over the group of you. "You might be exactly the sort of people I'm looking for." And she kind of like then crosses the distance back to the counter and leans across it and says, "Yeah, I've been. Well, this tavern's sort of a, I don't know, a staple for, people of non-infernal persuasion. When they visit the city, they tend to come here, and well, I'm the only bartender, so I tend to see them and talk to them. And so when devils are looking for something in particular, they often come talk to me, and I don't always take them up on it, but this is interesting. A little while back, there's a devil. He sort of runs I don't want to call it a establishment. It's it's more of a landmark called Duelist's Chasm. And it's a little ways north of the city. A guy by the name of Galgub. And Galgub came to me and said that he had an interesting character contact him with a proposition. This character was offering up a rare treasure. As it so happens, a shard of a pit fiend's heart. Let's pause for Claire. Hi, Claire.
Oh, I didn't even notice her. I was taking notes.
She just showed up.
Hi,
Daddy's getting her
Galgub.
bedtime ready. Galgub? Galgob?
Yep.
What was his relation to Duelist Chasm?
He kind of is responsible for
No.
running it.
You can't
It's a little bit
have
unclear because you don't know specifically what Duelist Chasm is.
You can't have those. Yeah. You want to play with my dice, Jill? You want to play with your dice, Jill? Yeah. There you go. You can keep going, and I'll just mute.
Okay.
Since, she's being real good.
So let's see. Galgub was approached by an interesting character who was in possession of a rare artifact, a shard of a pit fiend's heart, in fact. A specific pit fiend, Bazaar the Shatterer. A bit of local legend. Anyways, apparently this individual is looking for mortals of a certain caliber to compete for the heart. Won't surrender it to any devils. They specifically want mortals. And so I've been told that if I, send the mortals who are able to claim the prize in that direction, then there's a little bit of a cut in it for me, and that's a little bit enticing. So if the group of you are as powerful as you say you are, if you truly were the ones responsible for, defeating the demon who came to the city, I'm more than happy to refer you.
I want to roll insight on a couple things.
Sure. Walk me through them one by one.
Yeah, one thing is sort of the honesty of the story. The other thing is if there's more to it as far as is she getting more out of this deal type of thing. Is she more than just, sending people?
Roll the first one then.
All right. First one is a really bad. Let's see, that's 6.
Okay. Hard to tell. She says everything she says with a smile, at least so far.
Okay. The second thing is an 8.
An 8.
This -4 is killing me.
Yeah, again, you're pretty out of it, especially...
Yeah, I'm trying to listen, and I'm like, oh my god, this is not making any sense to me.
The Stygian ale is definitely taking more of an effect on you because of, I guess, the blood loss that Mara mentioned.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to think maybe she's. I'm I don't know anymore. Never mind. I'm whatever. I'll let someone else take care of it.
Well, I'd like to agree, but you haven't even given us your name.
Forgive me. My name's Brevity. Which kind of, gives you a little wave. And as she says that, there's kind of
aptly named.
There's a sound from behind you. And it's kind of it's the sound of heavy footsteps on the ice and snow outside. And you turn around and you see a group of devils. There's, I think, 5 of them. One of them is this kind of like large, stocky, maybe like 9-10 feet tall, like hair-covered devil creature. It's weird because it has like this sort of skull-like face in the center of this furry head, and then from the sides of the skull, there's these big tusks that curl up. And it's like, it's not wearing anything from the waist up, so it's just like fur. But from the waist down, it has this kind of like leather loincloth type thing, and that's all it's wearing in this like icy environment. But it has a like crossbow strapped to its back, and you can see it's got like daggers on that belt. The other devils behind it are those ones you saw on... they were on a barge during the battle against Demogorgon. They're these ones that are kind of like wrapped entirely in chains, and the chains that are like on their bodies seem to like move and slither almost like snakes.
They were very helpful.
They were pretty helpful. But the big like hairy fellow who's standing in the doorway, kind of like, you know, kind of like clears his throat to make his presence known, and then says, "Hey, brevity, I'm here to collect." And she kind of gives a wide-eyed look at the group of you, and then puts on that smile again and looks back up at the devil and says, "Oh, Benedeth, I wasn't expecting you and your crew for another... Oh, I don't know." She kind of like looks at the back wall where maybe there would have been a calendar that's been like burned away. "Another month or so? Didn't I just pay you?" And the creature walks in, like kind of like sauntering in, and he says, "Yeah, but the boss, we lost a lot of good devils out there today, and we need our soul coin revenue to re-up our numbers." And she kind of just like shakes her head and says, "I don't know what to tell you, Benny. I don't have it. As you can see, I'm recovering." She kind of like gestures to the like blown off facade of the store. Do any of you want to do anything in this scene?
Sorry, he came into the store asking for money.
Yes.
And what did she do?
She is saying that she doesn't have any money because she just paid them.
Yeah, specifically he wants soul coins, not gold.
Yeah, I heard that part. Yeah. Just that last part I missed was how is she reacting to him coming into the bar is what I meant.
If none of you do anything, she just kind of like leans across the bar and says, "I'm gonna have to deal with them. Watch the bar, will you?"
How much do you owe?
Usually I pay these guys about 10 soul coins a month, and that keeps them off my back. I just paid them. I don't know why they're back. And then she kind of like leans back and says, "All right, Benny, come with me to the back room and we can talk." And she kind of gives you guys a nervous smile.
Does anyone else want to do something? Because I don't want to dominate all the conversations.
No, I'm really not rolling insight and everything else, so...
We're all tired.
Okay.
I mean, I want to do something, but...
Well,
Yeah,
go
go
for it.
No, I mean, like, I don't know what to do, but if you're doing something, I'll support you, is what I meant.
I think Thaddeus stops Benny by putting it in. He says, "Excuse me, Benny?"
Who's this guy? He just kind of like towers over you.
Is she right? Did you come just last month? I mean, did she just pay?
Well, yes, you just paid, but protection just got a little more expensive. You seen it outside? There's dead bodies everywhere. Yeah, me and my crew here, and he kind of like gestures back to the chain devils. This is Smokes, Weasel, Nice Guy, and Blondie, and the boss has sent us to get a little more money. So here we are. That's what we're gonna do.
Well, you'll have to get in line behind us because we already have business with Brevity.
He like looks down at you with a fierce glare and kind of like towers over you a little bit. He says, "What, you think you're more important than the Gregorian gang? I don't think so."
He thinks he's more important than most people.
And he kind of looks over at you and says, "What are you, like 2 feet tall?"
3 feet, thank you very much. What does that matter?
Don't even use the metric system down here. What's wrong with you?
What are you, like 10?
9.5.
Pity.
Look, we're gonna conduct our business with brevity, and you can keep having your drinks. How about that? You keep your little
How
mouth
about
shut,
you-
and we'll keep on our way.
How about you turn around and leave, and we'll finish conducting our business with brevity, and you can come back next month like you're supposed to.
He kind of
I'm
shakes
gonna
his head.
cast suggestion.
Oh, nice. Okay, let me pull up a stat sheet here.
I have a question. Does this sit down and up to this point count as a short rest?
Yeah, I mean, you guys can have a short rest up to this point. I
Great.
think that's
Okay,
fine.
I'm ready to beat these guys silly then. You guys are.
I was practicing my accent all day today.
It's great. I love
really
it.
good. Yeah, I like
What
it
kind of save is suggestion?
I believe it's wisdom. Let me check.
Thank you, Charlie.
Yes, wisdom.
Let me see if he's got magic resistance. Does. Didn't do him any good.
Wait. I want to make a wager with these guys.
Too late. I already cast suggestion.
Yeah, I mean, basically what you would see is Harmony's spell begins to take effect on the devil, and he kind of looks down at you and says, "All right, you know what? It's not worth the trouble. We got other places we can collect. We can come back here in a month when it's time to collect. It's fine." And he just kind of like looks up at Brevity and says, "Well, when we come back, the price is doubled. You better have 20 soul coins, or it's your head." He kind of like does the like cutthroat motion.
Bye.
Yeah, and he turns around and looks at his companions and says, "Where'd it go?" He says, "Smokes, Weasel, nice guy, Blondie, on me. We're rolling out."
I can imagine them going out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And they saunter back into the streets of
Man, this is great.
Tantlin.
I love this place.
Man, just when I see some mooks I could win playing cards with.
I'm gonna settle down here, I think, guys.
Sorry, Mara.
Brevity kind of like,
Take a quick escape.
she gives you the slow clap and she says, "I think I owe you another round of drinks."
I'll take it.
Yeah, there's other people here you can try that on, Mara.
That's true.
Or you can try to
true.
gamble or something?
Well, are there any tables that I can relax and try to bilk some people with?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so that's what Mara's
I'm rolling
gonna
some
do.
hit die.
Okay. Well, you all get another round of drinks. And Brevity says to the group of you, "Look, if whatever magic you used on them wears off, they're just going to come right back. But if I've got the soul coins, that won't matter. So, tell you what, you go and you win this thing down in Duelist Chasm. You get your piece of the heart, and I'll take the nice kickback of soul coins and pay off that debt. Sound good?"
I have a question before I agree to this.
And she kind of like gives you the go on signal.
You said your contact wants mortals of a certain caliber to compete for the heart. Compete against who?
Well, you wouldn't be the first ones I've sent in that direction. I think the thing is that none of them have succeeded. I don't know if it's a direct competition with others at the moment, but yeah, I mean, essentially he's looking for someone to earn it. I don't know, it sounds like a real weirdo.
And what kind of competition is it?
No, I don't know the specifics. You'd have to go talk to Gelgub about that. Gelgub?
Galgo.
Gelgub, yep.
I mean, I I'm pretty sure we can handle whatever it is.
Look, if you kill the demon lord, I'm sure you can.
Exactly.
Which is why, for now, I'm not going to worry about the Gregorian gang and the soul coins. I'm gonna be zen about this.
We'll be back later. We don't know exactly what's going to happen in the next day or so we don't know what our schedules look like, but we'll be back.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. If you want to, you can stay here. Give you a discount.
Do you have rooms?
1 or 2 didn't get blown away.
And it's still sound.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is the structure gonna hold?
Guess we'll find out. He kind of like shrugs.
Alright.
Good thing I have carpenter's tools.
Not for free.
Carpenter's tools work on ice?
Well, I could fashion a hammock, I'm sure.
That's true.
I was gonna suggest I can use fabricate to rebuild the front of the store, can't I? Could I?
You
Or is the
probably
hole way
could.
too big?
I mean, what are the limitations of fabricate?
It says something large. Hold on. A large or smaller object contained within a 10-foot cube or 8 connected 5-foot cubes.
Yeah, so you could do like part of it, but not all of it.
I see.
You could like rebuild the door frame in the front if you wanted to.
Well, if the rest of you want to stay here, that's fine, but I'm going to have a better arrangement, which you're all welcome to join me in.
You're going to have a better arrangement? What does that mean?
It means I'm going to stay somewhere warm and cozy tonight.
I'm coming with you then.
Lulu
Does
zooms up to your
this
shoulder and says,
exist?
I like the sounds of warm and cozy, and she like raises her trunk. Count me in. I'm in.
Alright,
Well, I don't think we should split up.
then come with me.
I have very serious doubts that anything is going to be warm and cozy here.
Mhm.
But fine.
Is he talking about making our ship bigger?
So where do you go? I mean, what's the plan?
Um,
I guess Mara was going to run some tables, wasn't she?
yeah.
Well, if we're done, I don't have to. I could just
No, I want
do
you to
my
have
circuit and
I want you
then.
to have the chance to do this because I'm
Yeah. No, this is you have the opportunity.
We're going to hang out and drink some more, right? We're having at least one more
Yeah,
round.
yeah. We don't have to leave right away. I'm just saying I don't see any reason to stay here.
Okay, so I've got my ale in one hand and I'm gonna cruise the room.
Okay. You
See if I can
eventually,
pick up any good vibes.
yeah, you eventually do find a couple of planar travelers who are interested in gambling against you in a game of cards. How much do you want to put down? They seem willing to bet gold, or they also have a few soul coins. It's up to you.
Well, I've got one soul coin. I'd rather not do that. Let's go for gold right now.
Okay. How much do you want to put down?
Let's see. How much do I have on me? For right now, let's see. What stakes? We'll do just like 5 gold in the next round of drinks.
Okay. In that case, as you sort of set out with the card game to do some gambling, can you make me an insight check? Are you proficient in playing cards? You have that proficiency?
I don't think so.
Okay. Then yeah, it would be insight, deception, and intimidation. I need one of each of those checks.
Okay. Insight is, let's see, 25.
Okay.
You said wisdom.
Deception, insight, deception, and intimidation.
Deception is 18,
Okay.
and intimidation is 11.
11. Okay. You said you put down how much gold? 5?
5.
You end up making about like 3 more gold on that, so it puts you up 3. But also, they end up buying the next round of drinks. Basically, what happens is you find that you're able to read them pretty well, and you can bluff your way past them, but they don't take you seriously. You know, you lack the sort of like intimidating nature to like totally go for that clean victory.
Okay. So I look around
for a
and
complication. No, I was kidding.
see if they're ready to go and take my drink with me.
All right. Where was the largest open space that we passed through?
Well, outside.
Wait. I was trying to unmute.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
Before we leave, if we're hanging out for Mara to play, can I chat with Brevity a little bit?
Sure.
Just about we don't have to get into it, but just about like where she's from, how long she's been in Stygia, that kind of thing.
Stygia, born and raised. Grew up on the streets here. No parents to speak of. Discovered young age I was pretty good at, I don't know, talking to people, the sort of thing you need to do if you're going to run a place like this. Made a business of it, and it works. And she kind of like, she seems interested in you because you're clearly not from here, but you're a tiefling.
Right.
And so she sort of asks, where you came from, what you're here doing, that sort of thing.
Right. So I'll tell her.
Well, that's interesting. To be honest, I didn't know there were any tieflings outside the Hells.
I don't think that we've been outside the Hells for very long. Just a couple of few generations.
She tilts her head to the side. How'd they get out?
Well, I don't really know the details myself. It was a long time ago. I mean, before my time.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. If I said I wouldn't be interested in, finding out more about what's out there, but not many of us get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm learning that more and more every day.
Kind of a tough life when you live in a city where planar travelers come, but you never get to leave yourself. You learn a lot about the outside, but you never get to go to the outside.
Yeah, that's rough.
It kind of shrugs. It is what it is.
Is she an older tiefling, like Harmony's mom's age, or is she like?
Yeah, I mean, maybe about Harmony's mom's age. Harmony's mom isn't actually that old.
Okay.
She's
I
pretty
don't know the lifespan of tieflings, so.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not the same as humans, but.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, she was a young mother.
Brevity's definitely like older than, I think probably like anyone in this group, but I mean not by too much.
Okay.
Not a huge margin.
Anyway, that's it. Just wanted to learn a bit about her.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, she seems very talkative. So like anything you wanted to learn, she'll talk to you about.
That's fine.
Yeah, and the sky doesn't get any darker because it's constantly that twilight with the shifting light of the auroras and the occasional like flashes of lightning across it. But eventually, after a little bit of drinking, a little bit of resting, a little bit of gambling, some conversation, it does start to get to the point where, especially after the long and difficult fight that you had, it is, you're starting to get a little more tired, right?
I want to ask Brevity one thing.
Sure.
How do you and the travelers stave off the terrible cold that's on this plane?
That's an interesting question. A lot of the tieflings here, well, we were born here. The pacts that made us what we are today stem from dealings with devils native to this plane, and I guess they give us a little bit more resistance to cold. I'll just put it this way. We don't do as well on the fiery levels of hell.
Okay, but what about the people that travel here? Have they all been like bundled up and like
yeah,
struggling with me?
kind of like gestures over to like some of the travelers who Mara is currently like conning in a game of cards. Which kind of like points out like little magic items on them, things like that, which would provide warmth. Or like one of them is probably like almost not visible because they're just buried in like warm furs.
Like I guess I want to say like consumables.
Yeah, stuff like that.
There is
people. Yeah, there are things that you can drink to stave off the cold.
around here.
Sure, if you know where to look. The shops are open.
Where do you look?
Well, listen, it's not something that I've had to pursue myself, being what I am, and she gestures to her like pale blue skin. But there's some good alchemists, and she kind of like gestures down the street in some of the more markety areas of the city. If they're open, if they didn't get destroyed or killed, you could talk to them. They probably have some, I don't know, cold resistance potions or something.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Do we need to go look for more arrows to replace what you used?
If we have time, we could take a look around. Otherwise, I'd be interested in finding some way to stay off this cold.
Yeah. Well, we should have time tomorrow before the
Sure.
before the party.
Yeah, that's fine.
Shopping trip!
Maybe with Mara's earnings.
Ooh, all three.
Rub 2 golds together now.
Hey, more than what I had when I came in.
Hey, a win's a win. Okay. That's all I wanted to ask. Brevity for right now.
Okay. In which case, I think
Thaddeus' warm place.
yeah, the group of you kind of like step back out into the streets. At this point, the basically ice devils have been hard at work sort of repairing the walls, and there are sections of the walls that are already coming back up due to the ice devils' sort of innate connection to that element. But also you can see sections where like frost giants and ice dragons, or like white dragons that are enslaved with these collars, are being put to use creating these walls.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're back out on the streets of Tantlin. What's the plan?
What's the biggest open space in the streets?
In the streets, they're kind of tight streets. You might have passed through like an open square, but even that, it would have had like a fountain in the middle or something like that was just like frozen.
Is there any like destroyed building or something?
Oh yeah, there's lots of destroyed buildings.
Okay. I'm gonna go find where a destroyed building used to be.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you find one where it's like there was clearly a building there, but it just has been completely melted to the ground.
I'm getting more and more interested with every single question. What's happening here?
There's probably like a group of tieflings who are like standing by the building or where the building would have been, like kind of examining it and like talking amongst each other. What are we gonna do? Like, what's our plan here? How are we gonna rebuild? Unless we can get some of these ice devils to help us. Yeah, but they're gonna want to make a pact. We don't have anything to offer. They're just kind of having this conversation amongst themselves.
I'll ask him. Was this your home? Did you live here?
Not our home. It was our business, but it's fine. Getting late, anyways. It's probably time to go home for the night.
Do you mind if I borrowed it for tonight?
Kind of like looks at the like empty lot.
Mm-hmm.
Make a persuasion check.
Sure.
Pretty low DC.
I'm gonna like whisper to Harmony, be like, I think Hell's finally gotten to Thaddeus.
Oh, it is kind of froze over here.
That's 22.
Yeah, they kind of like shrug with like exasperation and just say, "Yeah, it's not doing us any good," and walk away.
Okay. Thaddeus takes.
Thaddeus,
Mm-hmm.
this doesn't look any warmer than the other place.
Give me a second. Thaddeus takes out Moonrise and kind of like points it in front of him at where the lot stood, and just like makes some motions, and casts Temple of the Gods right there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely narrate what happens there if you want.
Is that actually a spell?
Yes.
Oh my god.
You cause a temple to shimmer into existence on ground you can see within range.
What?
The temple lasts for 24 hours. I make all decisions about its appearance. It's got a floor, walls, and roof, one door. Only me and any creatures I designate, which is all of you, can open or close the door. Temple's interior is an open space with an idol or altar at one end. It's an altar. It's got kind of like dim moonlight inside, and there's burning incense, and the temperature is mild.
We may never want to
Oh
leave.
my god, that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
I love the sword. This is my favorite sword.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so
there's
this-
now a temple to Asanahan in Tantlin for
Do-
24 hours.
Do those two figures like turn around when they see this giant building erect from the ground?
Yeah, they kind of do, and they just go like slack-a-jawed, right? But then like one of them like puts his hand on the other one's shoulder, and they just kind of like look at each other, shake their heads, and walk away.
Amazing. All right, Thaddeus, you win this one. I thought you were going crazy a bit.
Are you gonna name it?
This is...
Heroes Temple. Ooh.
This is the Temple of Cold Justice. Let's call it that.
Ooh, I like it. That's sweet.
Oh no.
Lulu is basically doing circles around this temple, and then she finally like zooms back in front of the group of you, and she says, "Look, guys! This is what I did before. Remember? Back in Avernus, like before I lost my memory. Right? This is it. I made this like this."
Ah, very cool.
I think it does bear probably some resemblance to it, like it's constructed out of the same material that temple was, even if it doesn't look quite the same.
I hope it's like extra gaudy for this place.
God-y or goddess-y?
Yeah, both. I said that for a reason. I'm glad you caught on.
Does it take an hour to cast?
No. Oh, wait, it does take an hour. I thought it was an action. No, it takes an hour. Sorry.
So we're just standing there outside for an hour watching him like swing the sword.
Yeah.
Let's
Not
go
knowing
back
what he's
to the
doing,
bar.
he's probably like drawing his sword lines in like the ice, like where the walls are gonna be, things like that.
Yeah. And like, I think it's taking effect. You can like see like shimmery outlines of like where walls will be.
That's the slowest Elsa moment.
Yeah.
The entire movie is building the castle.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go again.
For a whole hour
All right,
until
turn it
everyone's
off,
sick of
everybody.
that song.
Yeah.
I can hear the copyright infringements.
Oh god.
Yeah, slowly but surely, over an hour, this temple that originally looks like it's made of moonlight and then eventually coalesces into a solid thing appears before you.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
The best part of the spell is casting it on the same spot every day for a year makes it permanent.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
we're not going to be in Tantlin for a year.
No. But if we ever make it back to Elendal, I know how to build a new temple to Asanahan.
Yep.
Wow.
Assuming you keep the sword.
What?
I said assuming you get to keep the sword.
Assuming.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But yeah, the group of you find a nice evening's rest in this temple dedicated to Asanahan. It's definitely one of the better night's rest that the group of you get to have. Trying to think. Give me a second to think about something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Kind of a question, but go ahead, Ethan.
Sure. What's your question?
I'll go after you.
No. Go ahead.
So, if we're getting a long rest right now, I know we had some conversation about removal of this raised deadness.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I would cast Greater Restoration on you.
Okay, and
Before we
what's the
sleep.
how's that going to work, Ethan? Because we were talking about it at the end of last session.
I think I will just roll a d4, and then whatever number comes up is how many of that minus points
Get ready to bet.
gets taken away.
Did you say get ready to bend luck?
Yes.
I don't think you could bend luck on this one, but it is 2 that get taken away.
Oh, great. Oh, that's fantastic.
With the greater restoration, and then you'll lose another one with the long rest.
Yes. This is so good. Thank you so much, Harmony.
What happened?
So now I'm only at a -1. I'm feeling like...
Does Greater Restoration take care of his hit point reduction too?
It does say all effects, right?
Yep, I think it would.
Well,
Nice.
let me check. My
Because that was a lot. That's like 70.
Mhm.
Pretty much everything I got, I would get from the feat tough. I just lost from. We didn't level, right, after killing the demon lord.
Nope, not yet.
Also, Ethan, this temple is warded against fiends. I decided.
Okay.
And it's consecrated ground, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow, it's really cool. And you can cast it once a
Early.
day?
I can cast it once a day.
Sweet. Yeah, this is the best sword.
It's a pretty
Before the group of you go to bed, sort of looking out whatever windows this temple may have, you actually have a decent view of the harbor from where you're at. I think you'd be up kind of on a hill. And the group of you would see that there are barges coming into the harbor, and they're lit with like these blue fires. And they seem to be having like these massive chains dragging through the water behind them. And as the barges come into the harbor slowly, you see that the chains are wrapped around an iceberg of incredible proportions, just incredibly massive, which is pulled into the center of the harbor. And then the chains kind of fasten it to the sides of the harbor so that the iceberg floats in exactly the middle, taking up a good chunk of the harbor. And then you begin to see devilish work parties sort of beginning to go to and fro from the harbor. But even with Xant's scope, it's probably a little hard to see what exactly they're doing, unless you want to make some kind of check.
The eyeglass and the scope.
You can make some kind of check if you want, like a
Yeah, you can make a check.
perception check, I guess.
Sure.
I was this close to rolling a 1 on my wild magic when I cast Greater Restoration. Just wanted to let you know.
That would have
It
been
went to 1 and then it came back.
That would have been great. This is before the long rest, right?
Right.
So this is after Greater Restoration?
Sure.
So I have a -2. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. Oh. I'm pretty good at these. Hang on. 18.
18?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make out a little of what's going on. It seems to be a lot of like smaller devils, like imps and things like that, that are flying back and forth between the iceberg and the barges, as well as the city of Tantlin itself. They're flying back and forth with like caskets of like alcohol and like tables and chairs and things like that.
Oh, that's where the thing is going to be then.
Seems like it.
Okay.
Seems likely.
I'm gonna deduce that and
you would recall the imps who invited you to the party said that the party would be held in the Tomb of Levistus. So.
okay. And that's the Tomb of Levistus then. Huh. Okay. Well, that's where we dine tomorrow, friends. I guess.
Interesting.
It's a rockin' place.
It's
I
an
don't know if
iceberg,
icebergs are
but
technically rocks, Mara, but that was a good one.
Don't they have rock base?
Let's just say
Are
that
they
joke is a real
totally
floater.
It's getting kind of a messy reception.
but the night passes, and you get your long rest.
Great.
And I need a wisdom saving throw from all of you because you're in hell, but I'm going to give you advantage because you're in the temple.
Okay.
We're on. Okay.
Wisdom
So
save.
advantage, but no bonus from that. Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
All right. Again? Dude, that's crazy.
24 for
I
me.
got 19, 18.
That's a 22, all told.
24.
24. Zant, did you subtract any? You
I
your
did.
subtraction? Okay.
I did my subtraction.
Then you're all fine. You wake up the
Great.
next morning feeling no worse for wear for having spent a night in hell. And since the temperature is mild in here, you don't have to make a save against the cold. So that's great.
Also, if we want to discuss anything, we are protected from all divination.
Ah. This is the best house sword. Oh my god. You have head chopping sword, house sword.
Yeah.
Man, I love it.
What next?
So yeah, if we want to discuss anything, how do you guys feel about the bartender's proposal?
I mean, do we have another choice?
It sounds
I
like
mean, that was
something we could do.
Okay.
It seems what?
Oh, I said it sounds like something we could do. I think we'd be up to
Yes.
whatever challenge it is.
Is it worth
I agree.
looking at other options, or do you want to just go for it?
So wait, this who was it?
Because certainly there's more than one
Alva?
shard, right?
There's more than
No,
one shard.
the shard that we're
Go for it.
the shard that we're looking for has the heart inside of it. There's only one. It's
okay.
not-
I was under the
it's
impression
not
it
the
was
heart.
a
Yeah,
like the heart
Yeah.
was fractured and it was
The heart
multiple
is not
heart shards.
fractured.
That's
we've
what
been,
I
we've been
thought
talking
too.
about it sort of
E1.
incorrectly. It is actually the
I
shard
see.
of a pit fiend, and this is the heart.
I see. Okay.
Okay.
I see. Okay.
I thought there
Yeah,
were
I understand
multiple
now.
too.
The
Yeah.
pit fiend, there are multiple shards. The pit fiend was shattered into tons of these shards, and they're all valuable. But the heart shard
Wait.
is of particular value.
Yeah.
Do pit fiends have more than one heart?
No,
I'm asking a serious question. I actually don't know. Like,
I don't know either. Couldn't tell
Okay.
you.
because some creatures do have more
I
than
did
one heart.
look. I
right?
did my research
So-
for the Hell Arc. I did, and I hope that shows. But I don't know how many hearts a pit
No,
fiend
no, that's
has.
fine. That's fine. This is actually a serious question because, like, if they do,
You
Then-
know where I can
right?
find that information. I guarantee it. It's in a third. It'll be in a 3rd edition book or a 3.5 edition book because they
Yeah.
got weirdly into anatomy in that edition.
That
But
you know
anyway.
that is amazing.
I wasn't.
regardless
I wasn't
of
trying
how
to.
many
I wasn't trying to poke fun at Ethan's amount of research. I was like actually serious. Like, if there's more than one heart, then we have other
Regardless
avenues.
how many hearts the pit fiend has, this is an avenue that's right in front of us. We've been given it on a silver platter. I don't see why we need to expend our resources looking for other avenues when we have so many other things we have to do while we're here.
I know. I'm just worried about when we get information from devils and the like,
Well, this
right?
didn't come from
Fiends.
It came from a tiefling.
Yeah, she's not a devil.
But her information is coming from a devil.
This is true.
So, right? And I might be overly cautious,
Are we going to
but
have to sign another contract when we enter this?
we can at least go scope it out.
Yeah, I
And I think
mean,
that's fine.
we really, I don't think have any other options. We'll have to go and talk to this goth
Yeah,
person.
this isn't even a matter of, oh, we win the fight or we win this competition or whatever it is, and we'll be told where it is. We'll just outright get it because this devil has it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm ready to go do it.
I know, okay.
I'm just making sure we're looking at complete information, so that's fine.
I sympathize with you. I do wish we knew more about the competition and what exactly it entails, but I'm not worried after yesterday.
Yeah. The other thing is I'm still not quite at full strength, so I might again be overly cautious about this, but we can try.
Well, maybe you can let some of the other ones of us shine for once, then, Sam.
Oh, please.
I'm going to cut off the head of a demon prince all by myself.
Beans. How does it show?
I think
Flex.
We could have had.
Thaddeus scowls a little bit at like everyone praising Xant for his cool thing.
I mean, Thaddeus struck
yeah.
the final blow.
I know,
That's true.
but you know.
I wonder what
Ethan,
kind of stew that
I
would have
know.
made.
I don't know what you know.
Yeah,
but
Thaddeus is sulking quite a bit, actually.
is he?
Yeah.
Can I roll insight on Thaddeus sulking?
Sure.
Okay.
Must be related to the flaw he picked up yesterday.
How
Yeah,
does
and Nick,
20
remember, you can set the DC for this wherever you like, so...
I got a 27
Oh, well, then you...
with the minus.
Yeah, that wins.
Uh-oh. Are you muted?
Did we lose Nick's audio?
No, wait,
Did
I'm
you
not...
mute yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, weird.
Thaddeus
No.
doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to talk to me, and I understand.
He's really pouting.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
super pouty.
Super pouty.
Yeah.
Is this
No,
one?
Nick,
Nothing.
no.
No.
You can try
Nothing.
reconnecting.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah, reconnecting worked last time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm like, is he okay? Like, we're like kind of joking about it, but also happy about it.
Is this
Yeah.
better?
Nope.
No, he's still muted.
Is this better?
There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay, cool.
So after that intense scene,
Yeah.
So much for shouting.
Yeah, you absolutely got it on the 27.
Okay.
Let me look up.
so I think what I would do is I would after we're kind of joking and stuff about it, I would pass a glance at Thaddeus and then send him a message when I notice this and say, like, is everything okay? Like, you seem
Well, he didn't even tell you what you noticed, though.
Yeah.
Zach, slow down. He didn't tell you what you got from your roll.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Sure.
What you got is that, like, Thaddeus was like having a good time, was talking to people, was being fairly chill about things until Harmony started talking about how great Zant was in the fight yesterday.
I see.
And then he got like, and then he just like started like looking at Zant and be like, you weren't so great.
I see.
I could do better than that.
Okay. And I think of that, I would send that message and say, like, is everything okay? Like,
Man. Yeah, Thaddeus responds, relish this while you can, but I'll get the better of you next time.
and I'll just kind of like, huh. I don't really know how to respond to this.
Mara looks at Harmony and shakes her head just as if to say, men.
Yeah, we kind of. I think we had your glances. And I'm like, this isn't the. Huh. Okay. Would I be able to kind of figure out if this is like one of like just the Hell's Madness sort of thing? How Harmony and I are sort of affected by it as well.
You could roll an Arcana check, I suppose.
Okay.
I have no idea what's coming over you two.
I know, it hasn't really come up.
That is a 13.
Although I feel like Zach, right now is the perfect time for your thing to come into effect.
Oh yeah, hang on, wait.
Let
me find my. I have it written down on that card.
It's as if these were designed to kind of
create conflict.
Yeah.
I feel like this is exactly the time when it would come up, though.
Let me see. I need to find mine again.
I can send you the wording if you want.
Sure. I might have it right here though.
And
so I think I would. Okay, I see it. I think I'd be like, let's see what I say. I would say, no, Thaddeus, this is not about personal gain. We were just joking.
Which is a little bit snappy for Zant.
Yeah.
Say, well, maybe you.
Is
if
this
you
still
want...
happening via message?
I think I would say that out loud.
Yeah. Yeah. This is just gone beyond messaging.
Yeah.
Like, well, if you'd like to joke around, maybe you can joke around outside the temple that I built to keep us all warm for the night.
Oh, snap.
Wow, what's happening?
And then I'll say apparently Thaddeus wanted the spotlight yesterday and he's not happy that we're joking about it.
I'm sorry, Thaddeus, but did you cut off the demon prince's head? I don't think so. I mean, you had all of the fucking first layer to, like, spread your wings and swing your shiny sword. Like, let Zed have some of the glory once in a while.
Can I make an insight check on myself?
Like to see why you're feeling the way you're feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That is so funny.
This is really
That
funny.
is definitely a fab thing to do.
19.
19. Yeah. You do have a little bit of like self-realization that this entire situation is being created because the Hells is playing with your emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't change the way that you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like you still feel the feelings that are causing you to have the flaw that you have right now.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a little bit of awareness of it. Like
Mhm.
you realize that that's what is causing this. Do it that way you will.
Yeah, Thaddeus gets up. Excuse me for a moment. I don't know if there's any. No, there's nowhere in the temple to retreat to. But like he goes like behind a pillar and sits down for a second. God, do I even have any spell slots left?
We just took long
Well,
rest.
it's a new morning.
Oh, it's a morning.
It's a new day.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this is
All right,
after
cool.
our long rest.
Well, that's excellent. That's blowing. I'm gonna try casting remove curse on myself.
Oh, interesting. Let's see.
I lean over to Zan. Does he know we can still see him?
I don't think that's the point, but let's just give him a minute, like he asked.
I've never seen him act so childish.
Well, he's
Unfortunately,
been our
hold on. Let me look at
pillar
remove
of
curse.
strength for a long time. Maybe he needs to lean against a pillar from time to time.
That's very
I
benevolent
almost
of you.
just searched remove cure, which is not what I wanted.
I was watching the show The Magicians the other day, and the funniest thing in the episode that I watched was like the main character was getting cowed by this other dude who just like got up right in his face, and and he's like backed up against a tree out in like a courtyard, and he just like slunk behind the tree while the other dude was just standing there. And just like, what are you doing?
That's Thaddeus right now.
Yeah.
Let me escape from my happy place.
Let me just go slump behind this pillar.
Okay. The feelings that you're feeling when you cast the spell on yourself do not fade. You still don't feel great. And there's still that sort of frustration at Zant. But your clawed hand, the scales fall off one by one. And your fingernails shrink and you regain your regular hand.
Okay.
Though as the scales fall off, you do still see like the purple glow in your veins a little bit for a second before it fades back to normal.
Oh, from kind of the glossy thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Interesting.
Alright, Thaddeus like comes back from behind the pillar and says, I'm sorry, I'll try not to let that in the way.
Want to shake hands?
Mara says, her eyes glowing.
Yeah. Flashlight, Mara. I love and hate this place.
I always forget about it, and it's always so
do
funny
too.
when I'm reminded.
Yeah.
I know. Can you imagine her fluttering her eyes?
Fish, Mara.
Buddy.
You want to play cards?
Yeah, Mara like flutters her eyelashes at somebody trying to flirt, and like the guy has epilepsy, and he's like, "Oh, stop!"
Well, I know I'm blindingly beautiful, but this is ridiculous.
Okay.
Mara will never be as weird as her ship, though.
Oh man. We have the best crew.
So yeah, the morning gets off to a rocky start, but then the day is yours. What's the plan?
Shopping.
Shopping. Okay. What are you looking for?
Nice.
You go out into the streets, and you can see that the iceberg in the middle of the harbor is still there, and the barges have kind of been lined up to create a walkway from sort of like the main docks of the harbor out to the iceberg in the center.
Okay.
The ongoing repair efforts on the walls and things like that still seem to be in effect. There's still a lot of damage. Bodies are being like picked up and put into carts. Yeah, I mean, it looks like much the same as you left it, to be honest.
So knowing that we have Thaddeus's house sword, I don't really need those potions
as you
anymore.
come out the door, the two tieflings who were examining the like empty plot before you got here and asked to borrow it, they're back and they're just kind of like sitting on a bench across the street, like looking at this temple, just like with like flabbergasted expressions on their faces.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
This will go away sometime this afternoon, I think. And then seriously,
Okay. Like seems very perplexed by the entire situation.
I am also interested in going to find an alchemist.
Okay.
Potion shopping.
Sure.
Okay. I think that you probably could. It might take you an hour or two. Let's just roll a investigation check from one of you.
Sure.
Whoever wants to roll it.
Wait. What's your bonus?
Me?
Yes.
+7.
Oh, then you roll it, and I'll give you advantage.
Okay. It's pretty good. That's 15 or 25.
Okay. Yeah, then I think it probably only takes like an hour or so, and like it's probably like Harmony's bubbly, charismatic nature that uplifts the tieflings who you stop to ask for directions enough for them to actually like comply and not like it gives them a moment to like forget the crap that they're going through as they help you out. So yeah, it takes you about like an hour or so, and then you find an alchemist shop. What exactly are you looking for?
Well, Xant, you wanted some cold resistance potions? Is that right?
I'm not sure how necessary it is now that we have the temple. But yeah, I mean we can look around and see.
You wanted it for the sleep? You didn't want it like for going up against ice demons or devils or whatever?
Yeah, I mean that might help too. So why don't we just take a look and see what people have?
See what they have.
Certainly they have something.
I'm interested in seeing what kind of crazy potions an alchemist in the 6th layer or 5th layer of hell or wherever we are is.
Sure.
How crazy their stock is.
Got some time to kill, so sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me pull up a list of potions then.
Crazy potions.
Crazy potions.
Okay, great.
Potions.
Were we gonna do that competition thing today or tomorrow? Right?
We told her we were going to come back because we don't know what our schedule's going to look like.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
after the
it's
party.
unclear. Okay.
We'll
Yeah.
consider it after the party.
Okay.
When we go back, we should get some of that Stygia ale for Rick.
That's a great idea.
Okay. Well, there are certainly potions of resistance, if that's something you're looking for. And there would be ones of cold resistance aplenty.
I'm guessing those would be pretty affordable given the likeliness or the frequency of purchase.
Yeah, I think the merchants here actually do deal in gold or soul coins interchangeably.
Okay.
In terms of gold, I think each one would probably run you like 200.
Oh, and what's the duration?
1 hour.
Mm.
So it wouldn't do you any good to drink it before bed anyway. But
We have
in a
a
battle
box.
against something that uses cold,
Yeah,
ice magic,
I think it might be worth buying one.
just in case.
For that, because I don't know what's going to happen in that competition. If this is a plane of ice, I can only imagine something's going to...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And you're the only one that doesn't have cold resistance,
Oh, really?
I think.
Mara does too?
With her boots, yep.
She bought boots.
Yeah, that's right. She bought the boots. That was the small favor or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Dang. Okay, yeah, I'll buy one.
Okay.
So it would be for you.
It was 200 gold,
You were
Yes.
focused on that silly belt.
and I didn't get it.
Of interest to Hunter. There is a
Who's Hunter?
sorry, Zant. There is like a bottled oil that kind of like shimmers with like silvery color, which the keeper of the store would tell you is an oil of sharpness, which can coat up to 5 pieces of ammunition.
Okay.
And it basically makes them magic with a +3 bonus to attack and damage rolls.
And
But
how much?
that's expensive, running about 1,200.
That's
or-
way cheaper than buying 5 magic arrows. +3.
That's very true. Maybe it should be more expensive.
That's too late. I'll take it. I'll take it. I snatch it out of his hand and put the gold on the counter.
He's scratching his chin. He's like, "That's the
Yeah.
wrong number."
I just put it. I'm like, thank you so much. This hero of hell thanks you greatly.
Someone's messed with my books.
Not me.
Oh, I see.
just
It's
tried
right
it out
upside
yesterday.
down. If you turn
Mara
the
comes
infernal
running
number
around his
1,200 upside down, it becomes 120,000.
Too
Too late now.
Too late now. I love this place. This is great.
Let's see.
Our
How many?
harmony mage hand erased the 0.
I missed that. What was that, Harmony?
Her mage hand erased a couple of zeros.
Yep.
That's what's actually happening here.
Messing with this old tiefling man.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
There's potions that would increase or decrease your size.
Hey, Harmony.
I'm fine the way I am.
It's funny he would bring that up.
I know.
Sure. Yeah.
Had an insult to injury. That's why the second time it's come up tonight. Just leave me alone.
Something weird. Let's see. What would? Okay. Here's an interesting one that you can probably only find in hell or very specific places. A little bit expensive, but there are some potions of mind control.
Oh, crazy.
They temporarily awaken a section of your mind that allows you to basically cast one of the dominate spells. Depending on, and the strength depends on like the rarity of the potion. So as you get more expensive, they get better.
So is that the person that uses it? I'm confused. Like, how does
The
that?
person-
That uses it can cast a dominate spell
Yep.
on something else.
Oh,
So
interesting.
it would be like me getting to cast dominate monster.
I see.
I'm not using a spell slot for it.
How much are those?
Probably wouldn't use your Jack DC, but
Yeah, I
it would
was
not. No,
gonna say, is it a much lower DC?
it is lower. It would be 15.
Yeah, maybe it's not worth
Potions of mind reading are a thing.
it. Ooh, now that sounds interesting. I like that, especially if we're going to a party.
Yeah, and those ones aren't terribly expensive. I would put them. Now that I've gotten my books right, I'm going to have to charge you, I think, 2,300 gold for one of these.
To make up for the profits.
Wait,
Exactly.
Pleasure doing business with you.
so I have
And-
these. Do you take trade?
It kind of, looks at you like, yeah, maybe.
What
do
is
you have to
that?
offer?
Does that potion
I
give you
have-
like a spell or something, or a feat, or what is it?
It lets you cast the detect thought spell,
Oh, okay. So it's like surface level thoughts and stuff.
but then you can dive deeper if you want.
I
Okay.
have these 3 large gems, and I pulled them out of my bag
Mm-hmm.
from the material plane. Very, very priceless.
How
I'll
much are
give
they
you
actually worth?
3 large gems. in exchange for that little tiny little inconsequential little potion.
How much are the gems actually worth?
25 gold each.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. He pulls out like his little examination thing.
There's no need to examine them. They're very priceless.
Hermione,
not
do
anyway.
you want to part with those?
I'm sure you've never seen anything quite like them before.
Kind of shakes his head. Well, this can supplement the cost, but I'll still need either some gold or soul coins in exchange.
I also have these.
He has a big hole in his wall as well, where demons, destroyed half of it. So, gotta make repairs.
I also have these. I pull out the 6 gem-encrusted shield clasps that I got, I think, from Helya Iron Shield's tower.
Okay. And how much are those worth?
I don't have a price written down on them. I don't know if we ever got them
Okay.
priced.
I'd give them maybe 100 each. So 600 total.
I put them on the counter and I'm like, those are also very priceless. And I have 6 of them.
So that's like
That should
600.
cover the cost.
750 then or something or how
He's
much
still
were the
shaking
gems
his
worth?
head.
They're
Still shaking
incredibly
his head.
rare. I have got
They're
6.
incredibly rare.
I have so many.
Anything like this anywhere.
Clinging to the
These are the
potion.
only 6 in the world. God, you're not even gonna let me roll a check on this? I never get to use persuasion.
You can roll a check when you get up to a decent amount. You're still under half the price.
I had 6 of those and it was 100 gold each.
Yeah, that's 600 plus 25 plus 25 plus 25, right?
Yeah,
It's 75?
you are still under.
You're under 1,000.
Okay. I have these 3 brochures about the night.
He
How
kind of
about
opens
this
one up.
rubbery liquid
He looks
that
at it and
turns
he's like,
magic?
"This is incredibly out of date."
They're antiques.
Antiques.
Hands them
Antique
back to you.
brochures.
Okay, put them back in my bag. What else do I have? Oh, I have this helmet. Pull this helmet out of my bag. It's a helmet of deafening. When you wear it, you can't hear a sound.
Oh, where was that from?
I don't remember.
I think you made it up.
No.
I remember it.
Us.
I just
think-
can't remember.
I think she just pulled a bucket out from the
No.
bag, and it's like, you put this over your head, and it's deafening.
No, it was a thing. I remember it. I just can't remember where it was from.
I like the idea of the bucket though.
Island, one of the places that we ransacked, and I don't remember. No, it was it was comic. No, it. My brain. It was in the tower
Alkene?
area with the Tengu.
Oh.
Oh, right.
Oh, it
That's not
was!
bad.
It was on the upstairs when we went up to that person's office or whatever. That gnome or whatever.
Yeah, the gnome gave it to
Yeah,
me.
the Zilzip
Oh,
or whatever,
yeah.
or Pilzip or whatever.
Because it was really loud in the factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's a rare thing. I don't really see the application, but I suppose I could buy it for 500 gold.
That's perfect.
Okay, so you're up to 1,175.
Yeah.
Roll a persuasion check now.
Okay.
Like dumping your bag
Harmony.
out.
I'm
Can I help her?
Don't need it. That was 28.
Wow, it's really good.
28. Okay.
This is
So-
why I'm like, let me use it. It's
I
really
take all this stuff. Your friend gives me another 500 for the potion I undersold him for, and it's yours.
What? Looks at Harmony. What kind of bargaining is this? You bring other people into your bargain? Fine, if that's what you want, Harmony.
I want it very much, and I
Okay,
finally got rid of
alright.
these 3 times that
I'll-
I've had since
I'll
the very
chip
beginning
in.
of the campaign.
Alright, so I throw my arms up, but I go, alright, whatever. You're trying really hard for this.
Oh man, my bag is so much lighter now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're down a whole helmet. Okay. Are there any other
Suddenly she can
specific
hear.
potions you're looking for?
No, we
Or-
should leave before he gets more money out of me now.
Okay. And he's like looking at his books. He's like, "Is that the right price?" As you're leaving. You step out of the shop, and
that's great.
I just need to know where to next, and then I think we'll end the episode.
Well, should we pick up some fancy clothes for the party?
That's what Thaddeus is doing. He's clothes shopping.
Okay. I don't think that would take you very long, and you guys can just mark off how much would it cost for fancy clothes. Let's find out. I just search fancy clothes on D&D Beyond, can I? Clothes, fine. Here we go.
Clothes, yeah.
15 gold pieces would be the normal price. I'd say in Stygia they're marked up a bit, so maybe like 20 gold pieces.
Okay.
You guys can certainly all buy some fancy clothes, and when you get to the party, you can just tell me what they look like, so you can have some time to think about that.
Okay, cool.
Sounds good.
But
Would mine be a little bit cheaper because it's like kid sizes?
nah. This is hell.
Can I roll a persuasion?
Bargain Betty tonight. Wow. Have a Susie and a Betty.
Yeah. I'm not ready.
So then is the plan just to kill time until the party, or what's the deal?
I mean, I don't think we were planning to do anything big until after the party, right?
The only other thing is we can.
I'd hate to be in Tantlin and not look around a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the group of you
Sightsee.
explore around a little bit, and I'll think between this session and next if anything sort of comes up. If not, I'll just sort of give you a description of the sort of things you see next week, and then we'll move into the party, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't think I have any tasks. I just kind of want to look around Tantlin.
Yeah. Same.
Okay.
Sure.
You walk out into the streets, and you can see that the preparations for the party are well underway. The dark night sky kind of like flickers with the auroras above, crackles with a little bit of lightning, and you set out into the city to explore, fine clothes in hand, and ready for the party later tonight. So that's where we'll pick up next week.
All right, cool.
Thank you guys for playing. Thank you everyone who watched. We'll be back with more of this Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, so hope to see you then. Thanks. Bye.
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 Bye.